Welcome. Welcome to another segment, another sharing. What are we sharing? We are sharing love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. Oh, all the yummy good things in life. And some will say, yummy good things in life. But we know about love and we know about compassion. And oh, forgiveness is hard. And kind, well, I am kind. It is understood. Tracy is the medium in which collective consciousness is flowing through. Tracy has moved aside, lack of better words, for source energy to communicate. All good things from the heavens above in Tracy's world, and she is just wanting to share. So today's sharing is about forgiveness. Today's sharing is about forgiveness. We want to say in relationships, intimate relationships. How does one forgive another in an intimate relationship? It is difficult, and yet sometimes it is not. Isn't that interesting? Now we are choosing this topic this day because there are so many who travel along in their relationships and truly not finding the place of forgiveness. And we have shared that forgiveness is truly a choice. And it does not feel like a choice because it is so true. There are some things that some would find that would never be forgiven, ever be. So, betrayal, let us say. When someone has betrayed another, and it happens often or more than it should, let us just say. And betrayal, that again is on different scales. Some feel betrayed if one doesn't call on time. Some feel betrayed if, fill in the blank, something really big that would feel as though it would sever the relationship. So forgiving someone for something that they has presented or created that has really stirred up the relationship, really made it off balance to the point of almost severing the relationship. We would guide strongly that it is in the best interest to allow forgiveness to be granted. However, it is in the best interest that forgiven be asked for, to be asked for. For isn't it true? There are times when ones are not thinking clearly. There are times where you perhaps may have done something and looking back say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. When someone presents something to you that truly has created a space of uneasiness, perhaps even destruction, something that has crossed your path that you did not see coming, fill it in. There are hundreds of reasons one would feel betrayed, and there are hundreds of reasons one would choose to find forgiveness or choose not to find forgiveness. In fact, it goes more. There are hundreds and thousands of reasons not to choose forgiveness. But when one's find that place of forgiveness, allowing the other to, we want to say correct, and it is very difficult, because the one will say, but I trusted that one. I trusted him or her to do the right thing. I trusted that they would be faithful. I trusted that they would not lie to me. I trusted in, fill in the blank. And then something is presented where the trust was given, but not respected. And it is very difficult to bring yourself to a place of trusting again, especially the same one. The only way that can be achieved is truly in finding forgiveness. And ones will say, well, why do I have to forgive? Why do I have to forgive? If they messed up, they betrayed, they lied, they fill in the blank. Why do I have to forgive them? No way, forget it. There's nothing else for us because I do not trust them anymore. Understood where you would feel exactly that way. Some may feel that, well, mishaps do take place, mistakes, if you will, and to mistake for one, not another. There are times in relationships that can truly take one to their knees in anguish. And isn't it something, the same relationship can take one to their knees in gratitude? Love to hate. Is it possible to have hate to love? Meaning, is it possible to feel so filled with resentfulness and anger and rage? Is it possible to find the love that was once held when someone feels a sense of betrayal, when someone feels a sense of being, fill it in, tossed aside? And it's not just betrayal, it could be anything. We're just choosing that. Again, some feel betrayed if one doesn't pick up the phone and call when they should or when they were expected to. And some, well, are so forgiving that they just go about life trusting the other will create a space to be honorable, let us say. But if that line has been crossed, let's just say you feel that you have been greatly betrayed, and yet you have found yourself in an intimate relationship that is truly important to you, and you have the choice. You have the choice whether to end that relationship, whether to allow space for forgiveness. You have the choice, yeah? So where are we going with this? We are going with, if you choose to sever the relationship, we would guide strongly that you find within forgiveness towards yourself and towards the other. Because so often when ones are presented, let us say, the sense of betrayal, many aspects, many levels of that. But let us just say one feels the other has done them wrong. Let's lighten it a little, soften it a little. When that happens, so often the one that had it presented to them truly beats upon oneself for trusting in the other. I shouldn't have, I saw it, I shouldn't have given them that, I shouldn't have said that to her, I shouldn't have. And so often it comes back to feeling that as though perhaps it is your fault. So forgiveness towards oneself, first and foremost. To find the forgiveness, to understand that you cannot control another. You cannot control their actions, their deeds, their words, their thoughts. You have no control over it. The only control you have is yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your deeds, your reactions. You can choose to forgive all of it. Even if the relationship does not continue, choosing to forgive releases you, especially when it comes time to renewing a relationship. Now, if the we'll say the circumstance leads one to feel that it is worth hanging on to, if you will, that there is room for forgiveness, that they would give the other a space to correct the wrongdoing, to change behaviors, if you will, to put forth faith and trust. If that is where one is, we would strongly guide to find forgiveness towards yourself and towards the other. And it's not easy, but it isn't easy in any space and time until the choice is so certain, so knowing, then forgiveness is truly easy. Forgiveness then becomes part of who you are, your authentic self, your inner essence of all you are. Compassion, love, kindness, forgiveness. Now, we are not speaking about one's walking over someone, because here's the tricky part, yeah? So the one that feels betrayed has the other come to them and ask for deep forgiveness. It'll never happen again. Fill it in, whatever the circumstance is. And that one says, okay, I will give you the time and the space. I will give you the opportunity to show me something better than I've already been shown. I will give you the opportunity to look within yourself and bring forth the love you speak about. Because when ones are asking for forgiveness, oftentimes it is through love that they are asking. We know there are hundreds of reasons to end a relationship. There are hundreds of reasons to keep the relationship. When you have two people desiring and wanting the same outcome, we'll say the same values. When two people come together in a very trusting platform, it is understood it is to be trusted. But when one finds the other is not trustworthy, or hasn't been, or has been hiding something, could be something as easy as shopping, hiding the money, hiding what they've spent. Fill it in. There's hundreds of thousands of reasons. One may be hiding their drinking. One may be hiding a secret they've had years ago. Find the space to allow forgiveness if you choose to. So it does feel this conversation is going around and around and around. And again, we are not sharing that you should place yourself into a situation that is truly unhealthy, truly difficult. We are not suggesting in any way that someone continues their relationship, their intimate relationship, to someone who has been extremely abusive. Physically, mentally, fill it in. We are speaking in general terms because we do not have a specific, it's very broad. Relationships, the topic of relationships is very broad. Between two people, it's between two people. And what's good for one couple would not be good for another. And what one couple would find forgiveness in, another couple would say, no way, they're out of here. Forget it. I am not. They're done. They're done. So it is difficult for us to just put it all in the same basket, but we are trying to. In order to assist ones who are wanting to forgive another, wanting to make something better, to build a future, if you will. So what happens if one says, I'll never do it again? Fill it in. Anything from whatever it is. I'll never do it again. Whatever it is. And you find out months down the road that it was done again. Do you still share forgiveness? Do you still grant it? And here is the answer. It is your choice. It is your choice to forgive it or not. It is your choice to continue that relationship or not. It is your choice. But it is difficult to choose in intimate relationships because they are so, we want to say, fragile in the first place. How often is their passionate love turned to absolute rage? How often is their love beyond measure turned only to disgust and resentfulness? And it can happen so quickly, and it is of great truth. Intimate relationships, the contrast of life that we speak about, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the victories, the blows. What we would share is, if it is possible, to allow some space and time to just find your inner essence, to make a more clear decision, because making decisions from the place of hurt and anger and resentfulness, fill it in. It's not easy. It's quick-tempered, let us say. So if you find there is a repeat in someone's behavior that you are unable to live with, then find forgiveness in that and place compassion towards the other. Hard to do when one is angry and feeling awful and so hurt, a broken heart. It is difficult to find compassion and kindness and love and forgiveness towards the one who has hurt you so deeply. It can be done if one so choose. And if they continue their behavior, and you keep giving the space and the time and the love and the forgiveness and the compassion, and they continue the behavior, we would guide strongly to choose for yourself and not beat yourself up for giving the forgiveness in the first place. And when you see it repeated and repeated without any, I want to say, without any remedy, it does not fall upon your shoulders. It doesn't fall upon your shoulders. That is the most important thing you need to hear. Betrayal does not fall upon your shoulders. Forgiveness comes from the heart and the soul and the inner essence of all that you are. When you live in forgiveness, you take the higher road. And so many, again, will beat themselves up. I should have. Why did I give them a second chance? They've already done me wrong. Why would I do it? And then it gets really tough. Really tough. Beating upon oneself, forgiving the forgiveness. But what we want to share is, when you forgive all things, yourself, the other, the situation, the reaction, the actions, the decisions, the choices. You set yourself free. You set yourself free. You have no control over another, but you can live with the knowing that you granted the other the highest, greatest road that you could have offered. When you give someone a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, fifth, sixth, 10th, 15th chance, you make the choice on how you wish to live. Don't beat upon yourself for choosing love. Don't beat upon yourself for choosing kindness. Don't beat upon yourself for choosing forgiveness. Don't beat upon yourself for being compassionate towards someone who has truly hurt you. Really, 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 really good. Really good. A bit of a heavy topic, but so powerful in the understanding that when you allow someone to be forgiven, you truly open up your world, not to more hurt, even though it may feel that way. You open up your world in vibration that connects to divine. You open up your world that connects to divine. This does not mean that you must walk your life with one that has truly created so much havoc that it is unbearable. Not at all. It just means whatever decision you make, whether you stay or you leave, that you do it with your head held high, because you have placed forgiveness upon it. So many become so bitter. A relationship ends and this bitterness eats away at them. Anger eats away at them. They cannot function for years, decades perhaps. Forgiveness is the answer. And we have said it time and time and time and time and time and time again. Love is the answer. Love is the answer to all things, but it does not mean that you are a doormat. It means that you found forgiveness within yourself to live your authentic self, moving forward as you walk upon Mother Earth. There is great love for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.